Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you can help me in this journey. Okay, the next one that I want to cover, right, is to really let you understand that the rich acquires assets, but the poor acquire liability. So I mean, think of it. So of course, the first one we talk about cash flow, right? Then the other two statement that I want you to look at is actually called income statement and balance sheet statement. Okay, so I'm going to show you three type of people around the world that is going to have what kind of balance sheet and income statement. Okay, so for the first type, which is poor individuals, what's going to happen is most of them, their income statement, right, means they have a job, it goes to their income, which is from a salary. And what's going to happen is they're going to pay off everything in their expenses. Let's say taxes, rental, which could be potentially, or even our food, our transportation, our clothings, and then that's all, right? Whatever that is remain, that's where they will probably do saving or investment. And I can tell you that that's not going to work for most people. Why? Because I think one of the number one thing that we want you to focus on is to really pay yourself first. Okay. Another group of people is called middle class income. Okay. So quite similar. They have a job, they have a salary, their salary is quite decent. But what happened is they start acquiring liabilities like what? Mortgages, car loans, credit card debts, and school loans, right? And they likewise pay the same expenses as the first group of people, right? And again is they upgrade their living, you know, they so in an event where they lose their job, right, then they have to downgrade their way of living. Okay, if you are in this category, do be mindful. Okay, reduce your liability, really reduce your liability. If not, then it's very hard for you to go to the next stage, which is what we call the rich, right? So how the rich acquire assets, right? They acquire assets like real estates, stocks, bonds, notes, intellectual properties, and even physical properties in itself. And of course, they also have the same liability, they have the same expenses likewise. But the thing is, you see, they do not just have a job in itself to get their income. They probably have other form of income like residual income, dividend income, interest income, and royalty incomes. So these are something that I want you to look at, you know, how you can gain them. Of course, you can always go and Google what are the methods that you can increase all this residual income, because this is a video for me to share with you my journey and how this book have inspired me, right, to go and do my own research to find what kind of income that I want to create for myself residually, in a sense. Okay, and the next one, so you can see over there, right, we talk about balance sheet. Okay, this is probably the most controversial one. Why? Because, you know, when we come out of work, right, our parents always tell us, right, buy your own property, right? But there's a lot of misconception about this particular asset. So I'm going to ask you this question: is a house an asset or a liability? What do you think? Asset, liability? Okay, do comment below. Okay, so if you watch to this moment, right, please help me to like and subscribe and also comment, and of course support me in this journey. Good. Okay, do let me know whether a house is an asset or liability. Give me the reason. Okay, so for me, or according to the author, right, he actually said that your house is not an asset. Okay, if you are living in it, the simple definition of an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. What do you think? Because when he said real estate is an asset, I don't mean your personal residence, right? Means if you are living in it, it's not counted, right? Because it is a liability, because you are going to pay mortgage on that particular property, which take money away from you, so it is a liability, right? Because traditional accounting, right, they always say that property is an asset, it should be on the balance sheet side, which is an asset. But if it's a residential, it doesn't generate any cash to you, it is a liability, to take note. Okay, so do take note of this. Okay, we will argue this, right? But again, I just want to share that after reading this particular pointer, right, I actually made a shift early in the beginning of my marriage, right? Because I told you, right, my wife and myself, we always think of this word freedom, right? So what happened was, before even we got a place, right? You know, we got married for me at age 26, right? I actually told my wife, because we have 3 bedroom, right? So we probably use 2 of them. So there's one room that is really empty. But knowing that we are like a newly wedded, right? So I actually told her that, okay, I really want to get my freedom ahead of time, probably in my 40s or even my 30s. So what I really want for the third bedroom that we don't use, right, to be rented it out. And true enough, I think she is very kind. Of course, it's very uncomfortable for both of us. Why? Probably even for you, if you're thinking like, wow, Alvan, you're crazy, you just got married and you want to rent out the place. It's legal, so one room. But the thing is, you see, to me, I think when it comes to acquiring your freedom, acquiring your assets, right, we are going to get uncomfortable one way or the other. So probably this is the first time I'm sharing this with you. Obviously now I'm very uncomfortable to share this very insight, but I felt that I want to share this with you is purely to let you experience or really understand what was my journey in the early stage. So I think like after 2-3 years of like couplehood, right, we actually tell ourselves, okay, let's aim to pay down our mortgage. So that's where we actually rented out one of the room itself. It actually paid us about, I think 650 every month, right? So it's a very good, decent money, and we have done it like for a couple of years in a sense. So it allows us to plow back either to the mortgage or even start investing our money. So do take note, okay? So I just want to share this with you. And I think the last one, right, is very, very important. When it comes to wealth accumulation, when it comes to getting rich, right, one thing to take note is always be in control over your emotions. I feel that a lot of people, right, they always focus on this thing called what to invest, right? And I really feel that this is not a very good way to ask a question, right? It should be, how can I invest in a way that is safe and right? And that question allows me to go and consider, right? Because think of it, it is beyond strategy, it is beyond the asset itself, right? It is really understanding how you are feeling emotionally, right, while you are investing in various assets, whether it's property, stock market, or any assets that you are talking about. So it's like today, like recently in March, right, the market dropped, close to, let's say, 30 to 40%. What happened is, what will most people do? Look at this picture, right? And I want to tell you, okay, don't let fear of or opinions of the general public dictate your emotions or your actions in a sense. You think of it this way: when stock prices decline, right, most people will do what? They will run away, right? That is a typical, right? It's the norm of what people will do. But let me ask you a next question. Look at another picture over here. This is Walmart itself, right? If there's a local supermarket has a sale, what will you do? What will most people do is they will buy as much as they can. If they think that the product that they are buying from the supermarket, let's say Walmart or even NTUC, is good, right? They're going to keep it. They probably buy in bulks also, right? So to me is something I noticed, right, over the last 20 years of investing. I realized that most people are likely think more like a consumer, right? But they are less like an investor. Because remember this thing, right? Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. So even in time of crisis, right, which is what happened recently, right, don't follow the crowd, right? Because always remember one thing: do not time the market, right? If you time the market, it's going to be very bad, because it's very hard to time the market. Even the best investor, the most savvy investor in the world can't do that, right? And most important, when it comes to profits, right, profits are made when you buy, not when you sell. That's why a lot of people, they find it very difficult to start investing. Because why? They think that they always need to buy low and then sell high. But this is the most misunderstood concept, right? Because think of it this way: a real investor, right, they want to make profit when they buy in. This is how I consider investment, in the way I treat all the investment that I do. I do not want time to do its work. I mean, even though compounding is time doing its beauty, right, doing its magic itself, but that's a second component. That's like amateur, right? Most professional investors, what we want to look at is, how can I buy something already in a profit, right? That is what we want. Okay, so that is why so when it comes to doing that, we need to understand, we need to be sound, we need to have a philosophy, we need to make sure that our emotions are all intact. That's why I want to end off at this journey, right? To probably share a bit of my own experience, right? I mentioned a lot of time that there's so many articles saying that there's a wealth transfer that is happening, in our midst. The question is it transferring to you or away from you? So I want to show you, this is my record during this period where I started a brand new portfolio to show my clients. So I actually put in about 100 over 1,000, and my returns is close to about 50 over 1,000 during this period. So these are all after sort of from almost most of the investment is this year. Yeah, I added to really guide myself and to take good advantage of this opportunity that the market has created. And my portfolio actually grew by 43.6%. But do note that all risks always have, when it comes to investing, there's always risks. Do understand there's always a disclaimer over there. But why I want to share this, to show you the portfolio, right, is because all these books that, the two other books that I shared earlier on, right, has helped me to really understand three things. Okay, the first thing is that investing is a lifelong skill, right? It's not something that you just read about it and then you just chuck it somewhere, right? It requires time for you to master, right? It's not enough, right, to know the basics or read books about investing, okay? Because a person has to have important investment skills to be a successful investor, right? And the second thing that I want to also share with you, right, is the best strategy, right, is the one you can stick with long enough, right, to reap the benefits of compounding. According to Albert Einstein, he actually said that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world, right? Don't go for the quick money, because if you go for the quick money, you are going to go from one object to another object to another object to another object, and there it goes that you do not have compounding, right? Don't even say about investing, even for business, right? When you really want to grow your business, right, you need to really let compounding do its beauty, do its magic in a sense. And lastly, right, I think for me, even I have results like this, you may think that, wow, I'm very smart, right? Let me tell you, I always want to stay humble, okay? Because no matter how smart or how skilled the investor is, right, it is wise to never overestimate your ability to be right every time, okay? And the wise investor makes healthy allowance to the possibility of being wrong, right? Even though with such a result, such success myself, right, I don't want to perceive that I know it all. I don't think that we dare to say it, or even I dare to say it. Even Warren Buffett said that he could be potentially not the smartest investor in the world. But I think one thing that he has been sharing to many of us, right, is that he's a very patient investor, right? I think in my channel I've been sharing about Warren Buffett for so many times. He started investing in the age of 11, and now he's really 90. So he has been investing for the last 79 years. That's a lot of patience, right? So to me, I think I just want to tell you that be really patient and really humble throughout this entire journey. And even for this book itself, it doesn't really tell you like what are the instruments, but it's really giving you that mindset. So I really like to end off with that three thoughts about my own entire investment journey. And of course, lastly, right, do like and comment below, and do support my channel by subscribing my channel and turn on the notification bell for future videos. Hope you can support me in my journey. Okay, watch for the next book series. Bye bye.